Going to take a old key card that I used from a hotel, and I'm going to use this as the hard plastic that can go at the bottom of like an IV arm. Now, the only thing I'm going to need for this is going to be a card. I have my skin, and I also have a piece of surgical tubing that is here. Okay. The other thing that you're going to need is going to be a hot glue gun. And of course you're going to need something to be able to cut. I'd recommend a utility knife and another pair of shears because we need to make sure that we clean everything up. I'm also going to use a syringe because when we go to put this IV arm together, I can start to take some of this excess, I'll melt it down, and we'll see that we can do some other things with it. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that I can now cut my IV arm. I'm going to cut some of this skin out. You can see that I'm just going to take this, I'm going to throw it into a bowl, and I'll end up recycling it, or waste not, want not. And all I'm doing is I'm taking, when I molded this, I'm taking a lot of the good skin, I hate saying it like that, but some of that good skin, and I am just cleaning that up, and just for the simplicity of the camera. And we'll just clean this end up here. Again, I'm using my cookie sheet or my baking pan that I bought for $1. I'm going to get all the use out of it that I can. So essentially right now I have my skin, and this is going to go over part of this. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our glue gun. Okay, so we're going to take our surgical tubing, and we need to get our glue gun, and we're just going to make a bead to hold that piece of surgical tubing on. Okay, now the problem that I have found is I have tried to take this skin, put it over top, and glue it on, and what has happened is that it would not stick. So what I'm going to do is take the extra stuff, I'm going to go melt this down, and just put it in the microwave again for, we're going to put this stuff here in the microwave for about 15 to 30 seconds. We're going to liquefy it, and then we're going to use our syringe to try to put some along here, and we'll start making it form. Okay, so we have it liquefied up, and now all I'm doing is just pouring some of this onto the card. All I'm doing here is trying to make sure that this will stick. When it cools off, it'll all be one piece. I'm just going to hold this here for a couple seconds, and we'll let that start to get cold. And once it gets cold, it will, you can see it's already starting to form. So it's starting to set. And again, this is going to be used for more of a simulation, so it's not going to be something where I'm utterly worried about a student missing the IV. It's all about the skill, trying to get in there and do the muscle memory for it. And what's cool about this is that as you're doing this, you can also make ones of different thickness. What I mean by that is I can now take this
and I can make one that is flat. So if I want the student to miss the IV or not have venous access, I'll make it a little bit different. Now normally I do this on a regular thin foil like this, but just for here, I want to make sure that we're all good and everybody can see, so I'm utilizing some paper to go behind it. So now what I can do with my syringe, make sure that we're still, and we're starting to liquefy or gel up a little bit. I'm going to take some of this. All I want to do is see if I can infuse it in to the sides so that it'll stick a little bit more. Anytime this starts to get a little goofy, all you need to do is just remember that you can microwave this stuff again and it'll come out okay. So we're going to put this in the refrigerator and we're going to let this get cold and let it stick, and pretty much there is your IV arm. We'll finish it up here in a couple minutes. Alright, so our IV arm is pretty well set. So now, how do you put this in, make this into the arm? And here's where, taking this from somebody else. So Chris, if you're out there, this was all from you. So we have some Velcro, easy to gain. I will tell you that probably getting it from something like Home Depot or Lowe's works well. This is just some 1-inch, nothing major there. Something you can easily find. And then the other thing is that I got a nice little glue gun here. And we're going to, we'll cut the Velcro. I cut it already. And I'm just going to separate the two halves. Okay. So we have the two halves here, and now I just need to get some of the sticky stuff off. Now what I did is I took the softer side, and I'm going to take the softer side, and I want to make sure that I am going to just take a little piece of this plastic off and pulling out that adhesive. I have that adhesive there. Now the problem is that I want that adhesive to really make sure that it stays. Just remember, we're going to have this on somebody. There's going to be some movement. So I'm just going to take a hot glue gun. And now I'm just going to apply that. Yeah, sorry. Hear my dog moving around there. Okay. Now this part, remember that when I go to put this on, that this will be like this. So I have that nice little slide down. That makes it a little easier. Now remember, with this side, because this is the more rough side, I don't need to take anything off the back here. I can keep that adhesive right there. So then all I need to do is just use the hot glue gun . And we're now gluing that onto the plastic. So not only is this plastic going to work to help prevent any needles from going into your standardized patient, it's also going to use as a great way to actually hold that. Okay. So there you go. Now we'll see what it looks like on.
So here we go. Here is a little IV arm for our standardized patient. You can see I can tighten that up if I need to. And that should pretty much do it. Hope you enjoyed.